Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Strike Box 1502 from Tice Industries. This is a very simple piece of equipment in the sense of what it is. It's just obviously a piece of stainless steel that's been punched and bent to a particular shape, and that shape is into a strike box. This is a metal strike box. Metal strike boxes are nice. Well, first of all, what is a strike box and what would you use it for? Let's first take some dimensions. The overall height is about 4 13/16. The overall width, about 15/16. Its overall depth is about 1 inch. This weighs about 0.13 pound, and I'm going to say that this is stainless steel. It is. Very marginally magnetic around those areas where it's been machined. That's a characteristic of stainless steel. And it's got just a brushed finish in it. Now, what is this used for? Let's talk about that now. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. A strike box is used in an application in a frame or in a door. It could be in a door as well if you have an inactive leaf. They're also known as mortar boxes or dust boxes. And what they do is when they're installed, they are meant to do a couple of things. First of all, it's going to look like this. This is a 4 7/8 strike box. It's meant to go underneath a 4 7/8 strike. So imagine if your frame you installed onto a wood frame or onto most likely a hollow metal frame. Without a strike box, you're going to be able to stick your finger in there and hit the studs. The particulate of the wall is going to be encroaching through that hole. Well, a strike box not only covers that off aesthetically, so it looks cleaner, okay? It looks cleaner, but it's going to keep that particulate from encroaching into the space because we've blocked it off, is what we've done. Now, also what else this does, it's called a dust box. So it's a strike box. They're known as dust boxes generally, but they can also be called mortar guards. So a dust box, you get the idea. It's going to keep that particulate from coming inside the space, just like I've shown. They're also called mortar guards or a mortar box because when you're installing the frame and you've got the frame in place, you've shot it down to the concrete pad, and now you're bringing up your courses of masonry, and you're troweling and backfilling with a whole mess of masonry. If you don't have a box behind your hardware preparations, you can be sure that that mortar is just going to come spilling through and completely sealing off those installations. I have been to job sites where the guy says the screws won't go into the hinge plates. Can you help me? I'm like, yeah, what's the order number? Oh, I didn't buy the frames from you. So the frames were sent to the job site and installed without mortar boxes, and they were obviously drywall frames. And there's little that can be done because the concrete's filled that area behind the reinforcement, the hinge reinforcement, or the strike reinforcement. Or you were supposed to run low voltage wiring through there, and now you can't run anything through here because you've got a raceway that was supposed to be installed. And you're going to see mortar boxes used not only behind strikes or dust boxes, but behind hinges where you have reinforcements, preparations for strikes like in the header, like a flush bolt strike. You're also going to have this concept when you have a reinforcement for a door closer, and you've got your 16 or 14 gauge frame, and you've got your full sleeve or your half sleeve or your flat bar reinforcement welded in to the header or the jamb if it's a rim exit device. And that's just packed with mortar. Well, what's going to happen when the fella tries to drill and tap to install the hardware? It ain't going anywhere. So this concept of a mortar box is also up there in those applications as well. It's when you need to separate you know, the exterior part of the frame from the back side of the frame. And a strike box is that. It's a dust box, a mortar box, a strike box. But that's the concept. Now, how or why or what the application is for the strike box could be any of those. Keep the mortar from coming out. Keep the particulate from coming in. Allowing you to run screws up into the header. All of that's in play with this concept. This application is certainly, for this client, they ordered a whole mess of hardware, but for some reason they ordered about 10 strike boxes. I don't know why. They may have existing openings that don't have strike boxes, and someone said, I don't want to see the back of the drywall in a wood frame where they've routed the jamb on the oak frame, let's say. And when you prep a frame for that type of, for this type of strike, a wood frame, yeah, you're going to get in so deep where you're going to get probably back through the back of the jamb. If it's a hollow metal drywall style frame, they won't have dust boxes or mortar guards at all. Only masonry type hollow metal frames will inherently have those over the hinges and the strikes or whatever preparations are there. If it's a masonry frame, they're going to know to cover those preps for hardware. What they won't know is to give you some breathing room for screws for a reinforcement. They won't know that. Now, one trick that people get into is going to be taking like 1 inch or maybe 1.5 inch white foam insulation that you can get from, you know, the local lumber yard in sheets. And they'll literally cut those with a X-Acto blade, place it in there and hold it down with masking tape just to keep it in place, or whatever they hold it down with, which is going to be whatever they have on the site. That, I've seen people drill into frames, and I've seen the little white particulate come out, and I know what they did, and that's really smart thinking. It's cheap and it solves the problem. The guys that know to do that are the masons that have been on the job for years and decades. These guys already know what has to be done. You know, you're shipping out welded hollow metal frames with closer reinforcements for block walls, and you're not giving them anywhere to run those screws into. You know, there's not much there. So we would very routinely, you know, do something for the client like that, or tell them, hey, how do you want to handle this? So they'll do it, or we'll do it, or whatever the case might be. That's the purpose of this. Let's switch to the screen view and let's talk about Tice Industries for a moment. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, so here's the item that we're looking at, and I've got some photographs that I'm going to show you. But first, below this video is a link to the manufacturer's page, and from here you can pull up not only all of the Tice products that we sell, which there's not much here at all, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to their catalog. From what I know about Tice Industries is that this fella, this company, they're 100% made to order. Everything is done by hand. They can customize, they can fabricate, they can do finishes. They have, for sure, a Facebook page that I will get in my feed occasionally when they're doing something unusual. They like to show off their finish capability, and I would absolutely suggest that you take a look at their catalog. I believe they're on the West Coast. Yeah, they are. They're in Portland, Oregon. I've never been to their location, but I've spoken to a particular gentleman there who's extremely helpful, and I think multi-generational in terms of family involvement in the industry, educated when it comes to knowing how this industry works. Pretty cool. Made, just handmade. Now, let's take a look at some images that we have. All right, that's what the strike box looks like. Looks like it's just cut on a laser jet or a water jet. I don't know. Probably a laser jet is how that's cut and then folded over. I don't have an excellent command over the manufacturing process, but you know, something created that cut. Okay, that's what it looks like. Peel away protective film, that's here, that's all that is. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. All right, in conclusion, not a whole lot to say about a strike box, but it turns out there's a whole lot to say about a strike box. So if you have any questions on the Tice 1502 strike box or any other Tice Industries product, please feel free to reach out to us. Please make it interesting. Their custom capabilities, I don't want to have wasted on just strike boxes. Although metal strike boxes, now that's something that you don't see everywhere nowadays. Generally, the mortise lock is going to now include a plastic dust box or strike box. The downside of those is they're very often damaged in transit. They're cracked. You send out 12 mortise locks, it's likely 1 or 2 of them are going to be cracked. And that's just because of the way that the internal parts are packaged inside of there. Black strike boxes, I've seen them white and I've seen them black. But if you're looking for something with an architectural finish, you'll be turning to Tice, because while it's just a strike box, it is a finished piece of hardware. That's not just that's a brush finish that's in there. Any questions on this or any other Tice Industries product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.